You know, most men grew up without a real clear definition on what manhood was. You know, you're told to be a man, but nobody really ever explained to you what that means or how to get there. Today, I want to give you a perspective that I wish somebody probably could have told me. Just outline it a little bit, you know, give me a little sense of direction of what it really means to be a man, right? And trust me, this perspective is built on experience. A lot of it trials and tribulations, failures, a lot of it with responsibility given to me at a very young age. So therefore I have years of dealing with the real men in this world and real situations. These 10 minutes could very well change your life on how you look at yourself and even what you expect from the men around you. Welcome back to Papa Todd. Appreciate you being here again. As I was walking through the woods earlier, I was thinking about a couple of points about how manhood's really not automatic. It's just not given, you know, in life anymore. And becoming a man at 18 or 30 or even 50, it just doesn't happen all of a sudden. It's not like a once in a lifetime thing. At a certain point, boom, you're a man. It doesn't happen. In other words, age doesn't make you a man. Responsibility does. So the moment you really stop blaming other people, the moment you carry the weight that is yours, it's all yours. Carry it, pick it up. That's really the moment you cross the threshold into what I would call manhood. You might be carrying a lot of baggage, and you can get rid of it. You may not get rid of all of it, but it's yours. Deal with it. Because weakness comes from avoidance, and strength comes from ownership. And if there's one lesson men need today, it's this. No one's coming to save you. You got to build yourself all by yourself. You know, a second point would be that a man's value comes from competence. Competence is kind of rare, unfortunately. So you don't become confident just by talking, right? You become confident and competent by being capable of doing what you say you can do, capable of learning things, capable of getting out there and trying very hard. In every trade that I've ever worked in, construction, sales, the men who earned respect weren't the loud ones. They were the competent ones, the ones that could teach and teach and teach and excel and take you along the way by showing you a true skill, a true trade. And that competence then has some results. It creates calm, it creates confidence, and then confidence ultimately creates influence in others. So if you want to change your life, stop trying to look powerful. That's not going to do it. Start becoming useful. My third point would be that presence is always greater than performance. What do I mean by that? So one of the biggest lies that I think this world is teaching men, what this bill of goods we're sold today is that strength looks loud. You got to perform, right? Strength isn't loud. I've met men who have never raised their voice, never showed off, never needed attention, and they were the strongest people in the room. Your sons don't need a performer. Your wife doesn't need a performer. And your friends don't need a performer. They need a man who shows up fully with clarity, calmness, and purpose. Presence beats performance every time. Showing up, being there when it's important. You don't have to perform when you get there. Just being there is enough. You can see it. And those people who want you there, you can see it in their eyes. You should be proud to be there. So be present. Another point I think is extremely important is a man must learn to be alone. Every man reaches a point in his life where he realizes that life's most important and hardest decisions are made in silence. If you can't be alone with your thoughts, if you can't sit still without distraction, if you can't evaluate your life without outside noise, you're always going to be a little bit unstable. Solitude creates clarity. Clarity, thereby, creates stability. And stability creates your strength. A man who can stand alone is a man other people can lean on. Another point would be, discipline. Discipline is really the foundation of respect. Every strong man that I've ever known, I admired them because they had one thing in common: discipline. Sometimes it was a little extreme, but that's what it took for them. They knew themselves, and they knew they had to keep the pressure on themselves with discipline. Now, it wasn't perfection. They weren't seeking perfection. It wasn't necessarily motivation. It wasn't necessarily talent. It was discipline. People follow the man that shows up. People trust the man who's predictable in the best way. And a disciplined man isn't controlled by emotion. He controls his response to that emotion. If you want respect, stop chasing approval and start mastering your habits. And my last point is, your story becomes your legacy. Most men underestimate the impact of their life and their life story. Every single choice you make, every word you say, every time you show up, or more importantly, don't show up, you're writing your legacy in real time. Someone's watching you. Maybe a son, maybe a nephew, a family member, a friend, a younger coworker. You're teaching them what it is to be a man. You don't even know it. You're teaching them in what way to live by, how to live. Make your story one worth passing down. Crucial thing here, manhood is not about appearance. It's not. It's not about status or dominance. It's about responsibility, competence, presence, clarity, and discipline. If you want to become the kind of man that you want people to respect, start with these pillars. They changed my life, and they can change yours. Stick around. I got more to come. This is Papa Todd. Hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate you being here.